December 14th, 2012, 16 hours, 13 minutes, 20 seconds.
Caller reporting subject holding a shoplifter at 92nd and Schlinger. Okay. What store is it from?
VJ's Pantry, 92nd and Schlinger, West Allis.
Okay, and you guys have a shoplifter?
We got three of us got the perp on the ground right now holding them for you.
Okay, I'll send them over.
Right now, please.
I'm sending them over.
Okay.
13.
213, go ahead.
I just had a call, 92 and Schlinger, for parties holding down someone that was shoplifting. They have him pinned down at 92 and Schlinger.
214 station, can I get an ambulance? Male, non-responsive.
14, you said he's not responsive?
Not breathing, non-responsive.
Engine 1 responded 92 and Schlinger. 92 Schlinger officers out with a 6 Echo 1 PND. Med 1, Engine 1 respond.
Engine 1 around.
Engine 1.
Engine 1 on scene.
Okay. You know, as a father, you're the one who's charged with protecting your family and you know, those types of things. Yeah, this is always hard driving past here. Always. And almost haunting. You know, it's tough. I've actually reached the point now where I just realize I need to move. In all honesty, it makes me feel like I'm in prison. Thousands of times. I've seen the video thousands of times. It keeps playing back when you see, you know, your child or your family member, somebody losing their life. You know, this is not a movie. This is real life, and I see the life being choked out of my son by three grown men who couldn't control themselves in what they call their attempt to restrain somebody. 50-35. And it's just an opportunity for us to go in here and again try to convince them that what the evidence has been, you know, uncovered is sufficient for them to press charges. And those charges should be second-degree reckless homicide, in my opinion. So that's what this is all about. I need to take my coat off too?
Yep, coat. You got boots on, the boots gotta come off.
These are shoes.
Okay.
The belt. But I'm not gonna stop pursuing the justice that my son deserves until I know that there is no justice for him. You know, and that will be a indictment on the system in and of itself. Because if we live in a system that allows this kind of thing to happen, and it can go unpunished, then that speaks volumes. I've been in that store many times. And Corey had been to that store many times to buy candy and, you know, sodas or whatever, energy drinks, Gatorade, all kinds of stuff. But the store clerk, he told me that, you know, he knew that Corey, basically his words were, he knew that Corey was my son. And I guess even as I think about it right now, I can see.
When I got there, I went in the store and got a juice. Went to the counter, and that's when the guy behind the counter said, "Watch that guy, he's stealing."
And that kid went up there, he was going to buy something, I don't know what it was, gave the clerk his credit card. The clerk said, what did he say? He said, "Give me the bottles or I'm going to call the cops." So he's like, "What? Huh?" He says, "Give me the bottles or I'm going to call the cops." So he takes off his backpack and he puts it on a thing, and you hear clang, clang, clang. So there's at least 2 bottles in there.
And Chucky says, "If you want to give me everything that you stole out of your backpack, otherwise I'm going to call the police." That's when this guy jumped over the counter, tried to get whatever he could, the card out of Chucky's hand again, and he lunged over the counter. He was on his stomach over the counter, as far as I can remember.
Okay.
And that's when, all hell broke loose, and me and 2 other good Samaritans grabbed him, tackled him, and got him to the ground.
Was anybody saying anything during the course of this altercation?
Nothing but, "You robbed the wrong store. Now you're going to jail over a bunch of stupid wine coolers. Now you're going to jail, buddy."
Who said that?
All of us.
All 3 of you said that?
Yeah.
I don't understand. You all would come up with that?
Yeah.
Who said it first?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. We all said it. Stupid move, kid. There's a neighborhood pantry. Stupid move. Now you're going to jail over a bottle of wine coolers or 6-pack of wine coolers.
Did he ever have him in a headlock?
No. Nobody ever had him in a headlock.
This one guy with Corey in a headlock, and the other 2 murderers, I'm gonna call them, help wrestle him to the ground. And the one guy still has him in a headlock, and they take him all the way to the ground. And for the next approximately 10 minutes, they hold him down on the ground and choke the life out of him. It's a real disappointment, man. This is it's a hopeless feeling. And that's it when he was just starting to walk. Corey in a Christmas program or some kind of African cultural program that they were in. So this is his little home where he used to be. This was his room at one time. He was, into the Bob Marley, and here's his football jersey. Over here, a bunch of his friends signed it, and this is another T-shirt that some of the kids did at school And it has on the back of it, it's got this little saying that he would have. He said, I learned how to laugh when things aren't easy and how to smile when I'm not happy, because negativity never helped anything. Good morning. 3 days before he died. He was a real good athlete too, man. Real good. The first time I saw him run up the field, man, they were playing against Menominee Falls. He was a sophomore. He was a running back on the football team, and he broke out the side and 50 yards up the sideline.
Corey Stingley. Come on, Corey. If you get it, hold that ball. Zero pass. Complete the Taylor times out for the touchdown.
He would have been 18 in March, man. He wanted to go to Ohio State to play football, and they just took all of that. This system is messed up, man. That just ain't right. It just ain't right.
I'm still understanding it. You know, the videotape was released recently, and I'm still trying to put together pieces of why, how, like, I still don't get it, and it's been over a year. I describe Corey as very charismatic, funny, mischievous a lot, but in a good way. It was all harmless. There was never, his intentions were good.
You just knew he had a future, a decent one. Was just looked up to and admired, and you know, he was a leader. So I couldn't imagine him being anything else but that at the school.
There's a lot I still don't know, and I just want to know.
West Allis is changing, and the big piece is that, are we ready to do that or not? You know, and like I've been working in West Allis for 7 years, and have seen the demographics change. You know, that's real. These are real families moving into the city. Black families, people of color. You know, there's more people that look like me that work here, live here, go to school here, and that is what the landscape is.
I think a lot of people have been surprised in going back over the history of Milwaukee about how dramatic the racial segregation was in this town, and still is. This is a racist's dream in a lot of ways in this town. Many of those suburbs were seen to be quote-unquote safe spaces, that many whites left the central cities thinking that life in the suburbs was going to be very different. In some ways, the suburbs are another line in the sand, you might say. Much more informal, but nonetheless, still the sense that this is our neighborhood, this is our good life, and if you're here, then it's less likely that we're going to be able to retain that.
Amen. We can no longer knock on doors that are not open to us. I don't call this justice. I call it sickening.
But, you know, the racial animosity in this town is palpable. I mean, anyone who lives here for very long figures out that white folks here have a really strong idea about what black folks do and are and what they're supposed to do.
Look at my community. Milwaukee showed up and showed out. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. And to you, John Chisholm, your days are numbered. It's almost like it's Mississippi, but it's worse because it's colder.
In the Corey Stingley matter, I knew within the first day or two that this was a dynamic that was going to be deeply troubling to the community. Of course it is. All of the historical concerns of a young African American dying at the hands of 3 white men, it was obvious that that was going to be a major concern.
D.A. Chisholm is wrong. Right. And we are here to make it known that we will not stop until the Corey Stingley family sees justice. Yes.
Since 1619, this country has had a problem with African Americans, even though they brought our asses over here. Nationwide. This isn't Milwaukee unique. Nationwide. I'm a father. I'm a black man and I'm a father. What type of beasts and savages would kill a kid? How do you call yourself a human being and you cannot value the humanity of other human beings?
Police came and, you know, his heart had stopped right there on the floor of the store. His breathing stopped. And for all intents and purposes, he was dead right there on the floor. After giving him CPR and paramedics getting there, they were able to get his heart started again and his breathing started again. After, I believe, another 10, 15 minutes or so, they transported him to the hospital where, you know, he existed. Because his life was ended on that floor, had severe brain damage, so he never regained consciousness. They call it hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, which in their medical terms is the oxygen and the blood flow being stopped. And they said he had this global hypoxic injury to his brain, which killed both hemispheres. And apparently that type of injury is not a prolonged, but it was rapidly, you know, where the oxygen is cut off, the blood is, and so the brain starts to die. I have no doubt that what they did to him could have been avoided.
You're always cautious as a prosecutor when charging homicides because you know you only get one shot. That's it. You take a shot and you lose it, you never get another chance. I can't tell you how many cases over these last 20 years, I've seen cases that were 20 years old, 15 years old, 10 years old, where a key piece of information came in that then allowed us to charge the case. If we had just gone with the limited information we had at the time and lost the case at trial because we didn't have sufficient evidence, that opportunity for justice is lost forever. You cannot retry a person for homicide or for any crime once you've charged it. But then again, that's why there's a benefit to not making a hasty decision. I say this in any case involving a death at the hands of another person. You sometimes have to be patient. One thing I know for certain is I cannot bring that loved one back. If criminal activity occurred and there's a possibility that someone can be held accountable, then sometimes you have to be patient and wait for that information to develop. At the end of the day, if the consequence of making a decision that I believe is a principled decision, is an ethical decision, and is based on the facts and the law, if the consequences of that is that people are so angry that they want someone to do something different, I accept that. But I can't make decisions that would make people distrust the integrity of not just this system, but the whole system.
So that means anytime you see somebody doing some wrongdoing, stealing or whatever in the community out here, you can go ahead and kill them. And all you have to say is, I didn't intend to do it. I didn't mean to do it.
Mr. Ripley was one of the witnesses who consistently said that one of the individuals had Mr. Stingley in a chokehold. Right. Unfortunately, the entire incident wasn't caught on videotape. And so you had a number of statements that contradicted that. What you have to then do as a prosecutor is assess that, though, right? If you have one person saying this happened and you have 4 people saying something different happened, that in itself produces some degree of reasonable doubt.
As a father, I don't think that another man could intentionally do that. So I would hope that that wasn't intentional. But right now, I honestly don't know.
He was putting up a good fight, and then he stopped because he knew he was had. You know, he knew he wasn't going anyplace.
Would you describe his manner of contact with this kid as having him in a chokehold at any point?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay. Did you ever see him, though, with his arms around his upper torso or his chest area?
No, I didn't see anything like that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe he did when I was on the ground the first part of the thing, but I wouldn't be sure. I don't know.
Okay, so it's possible, but you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're sure this guy had him up by the waist?
75% sure. Like I said, we were all 4 of us were tied in a pretzel. It was hard to tell who had who. You want me to swear to that? I can't swear to it. No. Did he have him in a figure 4 leg lock? I don't know. We just all had him.
I got a couple of witnesses who are saying that they saw you holding on to this kid with a headlock. One of the witnesses actually said he had a crazed look in his eye and he wasn't letting up. He said he was squeezing this guy's neck the entire time.
No, I don't think so.
Is it possible that the adrenaline and all the excitement was so intense that you really aren't sure what you did?
I don't know, but I know I didn't have him in the headlock.
We know what happened because he's in the hospital.
Oh yeah, I know that.
We know his airway was cut off, or at least the blood flow to his head.
But how?
Well, we got 3 witnesses saying you got him in a headlock. That would do it. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't remember. How could I lock my arms then?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Neither was I. I mean, I was there, but I had things in my arms.
Well, one guy says that you're grabbing them with one arm.
Up here.
Yeah, and you got your right arm wrapped around his neck and you got his head in a headlock.
No.
3 people saying that.
I didn't have him around the neck, no.
We're just trying to get to the bottom of this.
True, but
who's cutting off the blood flow to his brain? It isn't the guy in the front. It isn't the old man. It leaves you.
How do you think you could have done that?
I don't know. How could I? I know I didn't have the headlock. I don't know.
Anything else? All right.
What's going to happen now?
Well, we got to talk it over with our supervisor. We'll get back to you in just a couple of minutes, okay?
Are you going to charge me with this?
Well, we're going to talk it over with our supervisor and get back to you in a couple of minutes, okay?
We do intend on also filing a civil lawsuit, but that civil option is nothing more than what everybody's tried to say, well, compensation for your loss. I can never be compensated for my loss. My family can never be compensated for our loss. The only compensation that could ever do that is to have Corey back. Always keeping him close by me. Little Corey. Rides with me everywhere I go. Yeah. It says one love, one heart. That was one of his favorite songs by Bob Marley. You know, Dream Catcher and the feathers on it. So, yeah, that's my buddy. Yeah, that's my boy.